Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Good.
So I'm Brandon.
Hey, I'm Terry.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to turn my volume up.
Okay. So tell me about your company.
So Apollonix is on a mission to change the way dentists and dental labs communicate. And we are basically taking a look at the cosmetic dental industry. It's a $10.9 billion industry, and it's estimated to grow annually anywhere between 5 to 6%. And it's the team behind this is myself, along with my two co-founders, Jessica and Paul, siblings. And you there? Hello? I don't know if I lost him or not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay,
I'm here.
your screen went blank.
Oh,
So the
okay.
team
Is it
behind
back?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's okay. As long as you can
Yeah,
hear me.
go ahead. I can hear you and see you. Hopefully my camera kicks back in.
So the team behind it's myself, and I've got two co-founders who are siblings. Their family had a dental lab in Maryland for about 25 years, and then they relocated down here to Florida. And that's really where we got the idea to take a look at the dental industry and what the work was like between dentists and dental labs. And we saw that there was a huge pain point in how they were communicating and how they were ordering oral prosthetics. My background is in, I was transitioning medical practices from using paper-based over to EMR, electronic medical records. And basically what's happening in the industry is dentists are using paper-based prescriptions and either faxing that over or having that hand delivered to a lab. And we realize sometimes labs 5% remit when there's a communication issue with a dentist. And that rate leads to errors and delays for the patient if a crown or a denture doesn't fit. And that obviously leads to frustration for a dentist. And so we figured addressing the communication between the two of them by putting up a HIPAA compliant digital prescription, adding a 24/7 messaging platform where they can communicate at their leisure. And then for the labs, one of their main pain points is they're best working as technicians in the lab. And so we really wanted to give them an opportunity to market themselves. And so our platform is a lead generation tool for them to where they can highlight their skills and qualifications so that when a dentist is looking for a new lab, they can use the Apollonix platform and look for labs that meet their specialty. Our business model is simple. We're a transactional business model. We take 10% off of any transaction that takes place. And that's important because I mentioned before, the industry is $10.9 billion industry. And in 2020, it's anticipated that there's going to be about 65.5 million transactions taking place. And that means that there's going to be crowns, dentures, bridges, and other types of oral prosthetics being required. And that's what's really driving that is the fact that there's 200 million Americans walking around right now with some sort of a missing tooth. So it's growing, we know that that it's not going anywhere because it's a dental industry and everybody is going to need to take care of their tooth at some point.
So what do you see happening in the future that those people are going to get that fixed if they've been walking around with that empty tooth or that tooth missing for so long? Why are they suddenly going to address it? Do you foresee universal health care that's going to help them with their teeth? Or is there anything in the healthcare industry that's pointing towards people taking better care of their teeth?
Yeah, so the baby boomers and the millennials, they're gonna want to take better care of their teeth. And so the trend was previously that if you went to the dentist and you complained of a toothache, then they would just extract and they would just take it out. And so now, because it's becoming more cost effective, they can actually save the tooth and give you a crown, and a crown is only about $100. So that's why it's becoming more, it's more cost effective now to actually save the tooth and put in a crown or a bridge. Once you start looking at implants,
it costs more to pull it out than it does for a crown.
No,
Give me a
it's
pair
not
of pliers. It doesn't cost me much.
No, it's not that it costs more. It's just now rather than just extracting, they actually look to maintain people's smile, and they look to maintain people's.
You're saying it's more cost effective. You're in the sense that it's a better price point, so it's easier.
It's a better price point. It's easier. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's good. So when you first gave me the stat of $10.9 billion, I usually hate when entrepreneurs do that because, like, especially if you're a service that a small portion of that industry is going to use, it's usually a big turnoff. But the fact that you're taking a transactional cut on that entire market potentially, it's actually it makes sense that you're using that number, and it makes the potential of your company much more attractive. Have you seen any competitors in the market to what you're offering?
So our most significant competitor are the equipment manufacturers. What we've seen are the equipment manufacturers that have the largest share right now are like Henry Schein and Patterson Dental. What they strive to do is get their equipment into both the dental offices and the dental labs. And once they do that, then they create a network where they show, hey, dentist Brandon, this dental lab has our corresponding equipment in their office, so you might want to go ahead with them. But they don't necessarily have a network or a marketplace where if that dentist wants to outsource the work to another lab, then work with that lab. So we're definitely approaching it from a different perspective, along with a digital perspective. And that's something that
that's what I was going to ask. Well, so they're connecting people that have similar equipment, but are they still using snail mail and more archaic means of communication?
Exactly. That's correct.
Okay.
That's exactly. So we've created.
So is there an opportunity for you to partner with them in order to get a large market share, and maybe split the cut with them?
Absolutely. It's something that we've identified as a strategy, as well as because of some practice management software that they have, that we could potentially integrate an API into something that they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe you just black out every other offer just on their request. So you're saying, yeah, we'll only show these these labs that are carrying the same equipment if you use our software. Otherwise, we're going to go after these guys in the future and give them an option on everybody. You're going to lose that opportunity to partner with us and make a percentage on it. And, it's better for you right now to partner with us and to accept our offer. So I think you have a real position of strength there, because you're going to help modernize. You're going to become an addition to what they're already offering. And, and you're going to share some revenue with them that they might not normally get.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's really great feedback. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So how much capital are you raising?
So we've raised right now a family and friends round, and we are looking to open up a seed round, and we're looking for 500,000. And that money is going to go towards additional build out of features into our back end, as well as some features for UX, UI that we want to add on. And then the dental industry, we've actually got pretty good success in going to some of the large conferences and trade shows. That's where we've met a lot of our customers. That's where we tend to have a huge number of sign-ons, as well as meet some very big strategic partnerships. Continue to build out our sales and marketing efforts towards that. And then we've got some key hires that we want to bring on in the next quarter or so. So that's where that money would go.
Okay. And how much was your friends at the family round, and what did you get done with it?
So with that initial round, we raised 100,000, and that went into building out the MVP, as well as attending some of those conferences that I mentioned to you earlier, as well as paying for some of the additional build out. And yeah, so I would say that covered the majority of it. A lot of marketing expense.
What's your burn rate?
That is a great question. We just updated those numbers. I don't have that off the top of my head.
So how many employees or people in the company total?
So right now we've got the 3 co-founders. We've got a tech guy that is a friend of ours that Jessica and Paul known from high school, and he's helping us out. He's helping us out right now. He has a full-time job, but he's helping us out. And then I've got a sales guy that is also another friend of ours, has a full-time job, but he's also helping us out as well.
So with the raise of the 500,000, are you going to bring them on full-time? And so you're going to have to add them to the burn rate at that time.
Uh-huh.
And how much are you, the 3 co-founders, planning on taking as far as salary with that moving forward after that raise?
So that we're looking at still operating very, very lean, and we're probably not going to take more than above 40,000.
Okay, so you're looking at salaries of about 40,000. So for the 3 of you, 120,000 out of the 500. Okay, well, I mean, this can all be handled offline. I would like to just know more about your burn rate, what you're going to do, and the attractiveness of getting that tech guy on full time. Is he your only technologist?
Yes, he is. We are not considering him as a CTO. We do want to bring on a CTO at some point. Right now, he's just a developer.
Okay, and the other 2 brothers, they come from that industry. What are their contributions moving forward?
It's a brother and a sister. Are you talking about the co-founders?
Yeah, the siblings, the co-founders, yeah.
Okay. So if you wanted to talk about titles, like if everybody had titles or responsibilities.
I don't care about titles. I just want to know what they're doing. What are they getting done?
So I'm the Chief Operating Officer. My background is in human resources and training and development. So I definitely work on the infrastructure of the company and those sort of things. Jessica is our Chief Strategy and Marketing and partnerships, and Paul, his background is in finance, so he's been looking at the financials and as well as the strategic objectives for the company.
Okay, fantastic. So there's no true CEO at this point?
Yeah, so that would be Paul.
Okay, Paul. Okay, so it's more of he's the financials and taking that role of basically CEO, strategic financials, so CFO, CEO type position.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any prospects right now? Have you raised any? Do you have any commitments towards that round of 500,000 yet?
Not right now, no.
Okay, and I saw you entered. You entered the Miami Herald Business Plan Challenge, and I saw you at SupX. So I've seen you around town. You've been winning awards. A lot of people are really into what you're doing.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your accomplishments and things like that?
So we came in second place at SupX. We got a $15,000 prize there. We came in second place again at the Miami Herald Business Plan Challenge, which has been great in terms of just exposure and just continuing our momentum. We completed the 8-month cohort for Babson College. They launched their inaugural Women Innovating Now called WinLab. That was sponsored by the Knight Foundation and FedEx. So there were 200 women entrepreneurs that applied, and only 21 companies were selected. And Apollonix, with 2 female co-founders, we were selected. And that was just tremendous in terms of providing 8 months of curriculum and support in terms of getting the company towards growth. And that was just fantastic. And then let's see what else. We were selected for Emerge, America's Startup Showcase. We don't know if we're pitching yet, but Emerge is coming up next week, and so we'll be there presenting as well. And yeah, I mean, that's it. We're definitely happy with the momentum that we have, and we'll continue and hopefully go towards some dental specific focused events and see what type of momentum we can get there.
That's fantastic. I'd really like to dig in, and this isn't a conversation for here, but I would really like to dig in on what your sales strategies are, your marketing strategies.
Okay.
I know that you have two co-founders that come, have experience in the industry, and you have a full-time sales or part-time salesperson. How about adoption? Have you had early users, and how many? And tell me about that.
So the latest numbers, and I should have checked before we came on here, but the latest numbers that we have about 46 dentists and I think about 23 labs that have signed on. And so we know that they're interacting on the site. Our next milestone is to get them to repeat transactions and get that stickiness going. And when I mentioned before that when we open up our seed round and we plan to build out further technology, what the feedback from them is that they do need to see a bit more features. So, and I could tell you more about that offline, of course. But yeah, so we know that we do need to build out further features into our front end.
So that's great, though. So you have some live feedback from the users, and you're going to be able to build that out in the next round to give them more of what they want. So it is a very lean approach.
Yes.
All right. I love what you're doing, and I think there's a huge potential for it. So let's take some more of this offline and talk about it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you. Alrighty.